Okay, hello, dear students. This is the teacher once again. I'm here from my house. All that situation that we're going through because of the coronavirus. Okay, dear students, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know what time you're watching this video, but I'm really glad to have this opportunity and to have this mean to teach you English. So, guys, the university has implemented these kind of classes because the situation that we're going through about the coronavirus and the quarantine that we're put in. So I'm gonna be basically explaining here unit number 4. Well, we're gonna have two parts, maybe two parts, yes, and one conference. That's the way that we're gonna be working more or less, and also with the same exercises and platform, my English lab, also English Central, and maybe some other apps that I'm gonna be using with you. But that's something that I'm gonna let you know later, okay? So, okay, let's get to work. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see here, this is unit number 4, and yeah, unit number 4, summit 2, but this is the first part. Okay, basically in this first part, the way that we're gonna be working is that first we're gonna work on the vocabulary of that unit, and then we're gonna go to the grammar topic. And then in the second part, we're gonna work on the writing and the pronunciation part, okay? Please, what I want you to do at home is the reading and the listening part. You know that you can go to my English lab and then you can see the audios for the exercises. So please do it because when we have our video conference, I'm gonna be checking the reading and the listening part. I want you to do the review as well. If I don't have time in here, then I'm gonna try to do it with you. So I wanted to tell you that in the grammar exercises, I'm gonna show you first the exercises and then I'm gonna continue giving you the answers. But what I want you to do is to stop the video. You have to stop the video when you're gonna do the exercises and then you can replay the video and then you can see and check the answers and all that stuff. If you have any question about the unit or the things that I'm gonna be explaining to you, then you don't hesitate. You can ask any question that you have on the WhatsApp group, or if you want, you can also send a private message to my WhatsApp, to my number, and that's it. Okay, that's the way that we're gonna be working. Good. So let's learn the vocabulary for unit number 4. Well, the first, let's say, unknown word that we're gonna run into is the word shortcomings or flaws. What is a shortcoming and what is a flaw? Those words basically mean the defects, just to say the defects that we have. So, for example, being disorganized, being a procrastinator, things or behaviors that we have, or in our personality, or not say personality, is the way that we act sometimes, and it's part of our being. I mean, it's something that is not right. It's something that brings about bad consequences in our lives. So those are the shortcomings or flaws. We basically say defects. Okay. So, for example, we have this first one. For example, I have some examples here for you to understand, which is disorganized. You already know that. The second one is procrastinator. Being a procrastinator means to put things off a lot. Okay, so it's like when you have time to do something and then you say like, no, I'm not gonna do it now today. I'm gonna do it maybe tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you say, no, I'm not gonna do it today neither. So I'm gonna do it, let's say, next Friday. Then you're procrastinating. Okay, you're a procrastinator. Okay, that is a shortcoming, that is a flaw. Being oversensitive. When you're oversensitive, it means that everything affects you. Like, for example, if you go out today and then you say, maybe I tell you like, hey, you look thinner today, then you think that I'm telling you that you're the thinnest person around the world, and then you feel like sad because I told you that you're thinner today. Okay, that's being oversensitive. It's like when things or what other people say, it affects you like way too much. Okay, so the next one is to be hot-tempered. Hot-tempered is someone that is like, it's like gets angry easily. Okay, that when you get angry like easily because of almost everything that you're hot tempered. Then the next word it's negative. Okay, it's basically the same meaning or a similar meaning that we have in Spanish. It's like someone that is always thinking about is thinking that bad things are going to happen. So, for example, with the coronavirus, then you think that you're gonna get infected and then all your family is going to die. So that's not gonna happen. Okay. So, or I hope so. Okay. The next one is the word controlling. And controlling is someone that 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 it's like that likes everything to be done in his or her way. Like for example, let's say that we are both organizing a bedroom, and let's say that you organized it in a great way, but then I come and I say like, no, you shouldn't have done this. I think that the best way to do this is like this, or I just simply say like, you have to do this way because that's the way that I think is the best way. So you're like controlling. Okay. The next one is perfectionist. When you want everything in your life to be perfect, like when you're doing a task and then you make all your efforts to do it in the best way. That sometimes is a good thing, but what's bad about this is that perfectionists, they when they have mistakes doing something, then they feel sad or they feel depressed because they like everything to be perfect. So that's something wrong because we all make mistakes. So we're human. So the next one is unpunctual. Basically, sorry, you already know that. It's when you're not punctual, when you're always late for everything. Bossy is someone that likes to give orders. Okay, that likes to control everything. It's like you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you don't do anything. Okay, you're bossy. You like you demand a lot from people. Overthinker. Overthinker is someone who overthinks. I mean, is someone who thinks a lot about something. Or maybe if you have a problem, you don't think about the solution or the way that we can get out of it, but you're always like thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about the problem. And sometimes they get stressed and they get diseases because of overthinking way much. Okay, so those are some examples about shortcomings, are the bad things or bad behaviors that we usually have. Okay, bad habits sometimes. So we say shortcomings or flaws. Okay, and we say flawless is someone like it's like someone you consider that does not have any kind of mistakes. Okay. Okay, the grammar that we're gonna be learning for this unit is to talk about conditions. Okay, so we're gonna basically learn how to express conditions. Like for example, you do something if something else happens. Okay, good. So take a look at this one. It says, first of all, to express conditions, we use these two expressions. The first two ones that we're gonna be uh, working with is even if and whether or not. Okay, this is a short like definition or explanation that we use them. It says no matter what the condition, there is no way to affect or change it. Look at the examples. It says even if she walks up, even if she wakes up earlier, she's always late. What does it mean? No matter what time she wakes up, it doesn't matter. Okay, but she's gonna be always late. So we say even if she wakes up earlier, she's always late. Okay, or we can also say she's always late even if she wakes up early. So it doesn't matter if she wakes up earlier, she's gonna be or she's always late. Okay, that's not gonna change. That's why it says no matter the condition, there is no way to affect or change it. So this is the way that we use even if. You know that when we start the sentence by even if, then we need to write a comma here. Okay, and if we write even if in the middle, then there is no need to write a comma. Okay, number 3. It says she will always be a bossy person, whether or not you tell her it's kind of rude. What does it mean? It doesn't matter if you tell her that her behavior is kind of rude, she will always be a bossy person, okay? So we say she will always be a bossy person whether or not you tell her it's kind of rude. So no matter what, she will always be bossy, okay? Same here. We can start the sentence using whether or not, and then we need to write a comma here. We say whether or not you tell her she should be patient, she always loses her cool quickly. Whether or not you tell her she should be patient, she always loses her cool quickly. So no matter what you tell her, or um, no matter what you tell her, she always loses her cool quickly. Okay, so there is no way to affect this. There is no way to change it. Okay, you can change that. Good. So let's continue to the next one, which is only if. The second one, we define it or we explain it with a short explanation here. It says a certain condition is necessary for something to happen. So in this case, we're gonna use only if. When we have something that depends on something else. For example, we say she will go to the party only if. So only under the condition that she finishes this project before 9 p.m. she will go to the party. So there is a condition. What is the condition? That she finishes her project before 9 p.m. If she doesn't finish the project, she won't go to the party. If she finishes this project before 9 p.m., she will go. So we say she will go to the party even if, only if, sorry, she finishes this project before 9 p.m. Okay, that's very simple. But let's see what happens when we start the sentence using only if. Look at this here. When we start the sentence, I think that you remember last class we were talking about inversions using so. So this time we're gonna use inversions too. So we say only if she finishes this project before 9 p.m. will she go to the party. So in this case, what's the difference here? That instead of saying she will, we're gonna end up saying will she. Okay? Because this is the inverted form that we use when we start a sentence using only if. So we say only if she finishes this project before 9 p.m. will she go to the party. Okay, so there is a condition once again. What is the condition? That she finishes this project before 9 p.m. If she does it, then she will go to the party. So as there is a condition or something that is like it depends on something else, and then we say only if she finishes this project before 9 p.m. will she go to the party. Okay, the inverted forms are forms that we usually use in writing English, in written English, sorry, and in very formal contexts. It doesn't mean that we don't use it. We use it in English, but you know that in spoken English, language is kind of different. It's like more informal. So, and the last one that we're gonna firstly see here, it's the way that we use unless and otherwise. Okay, once again, short definition here. We use unless or otherwise when we want to express the consequence of an action or inaction. It means that something that is not done. Look at the example with unless. First of all, we say she will forget to pay her bills. You're assuring something, that you're saying that something is going to happen. Then you have to say something that depends on something else, unless she sets a reminder. So it means if she sets a reminder, she won't forget to pay her bills. Okay? So we say unless she sets a reminder, comma, she will forget to pay her bills. Okay? It means like if she doesn't set a reminder, she will forget to pay her bills. Okay? So if she sets a reminder, she won't forget it. So there is a consequence of an inaction. It means that she will forget to pay her bill unless she sets a reminder. So if she doesn't set a reminder, which is the inaction, then she will forget to pay her bill. Okay? So there is like you need to do something for something else to happen. So she will forget to pay her bills unless she sets a reminder. Okay? Now examples with otherwise. Then in this case, look at the example. It's the same one, but we change a little bit the sense. We say she needs to set a reminder, otherwise she will forget to pay her bill. So we can also say like she needs to set a reminder or she will forget to pay her bill. So in this case, we can replace otherwise by or. Okay, she needs to set a reminder or she will forget to pay her bill. Or on the contrary, she will forget to pay her bills. But we don't use that in this case. We use otherwise. Okay, because as you can see here, we have two independent clauses. She needs to set a reminder and she will forget to pay her bill. So the way that we link these two sentences is using a transition word in this case, that is otherwise. So don't forget to write the comma here in otherwise. Okay. So okay, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna try to go to the book. We're gonna review what we've been talking about, and then we're gonna try to do some exercises. So let's come here, unit number 6, which is troubles while traveling. So here we're going to learn some vocabulary about, sorry, I made a mistake here. I'm sorry. Let me get this one. Yeah, I was confused with the other class, which is about, yeah, it's the unit number 6 from Monday to Friday. So I'm so sorry. I'm kind of new in this stuff, so please, my apologies. So, guys, let's check this out. Okay, so getting along with others. Okay, what does this expression mean? Getting along with is like when you handle a situation or when you learn to co-live with people. It's like getting along with others is like the way it's like understand and respect other people's behavior, and then you like you get like used to them. Like for example, someone is hot tempered, and then you learn how to deal with that. Okay, so you're getting along with that person. So what's your biggest sorry what's your biggest shortcoming? So let's say we have Martin here, and it says, I wish I weren't so disorganized. My bedroom's always a mess. I can remember where I put my things. Sorry, where I put anything. The way I'm doing things is just not working for me. Okay, we have here 7 different people talking about their shortcomings. Okay, and we have some keywords here that we just saw in the slides, but we're gonna try to remember here. We have to be disorganized, to be a procrastinator, to be oversensitive, to be hot-tempered, to be negative, to be controlling, or to be a perfectionist. We always use the verb to be when we talk about adjectives, when we describe things using adjectives, okay? So that's why we use be, because we say I am disorganized, or she is disorganized, she's a procrastinator, or she's oversensitive, he is hot-tempered, and they are negative, and we are controlling, and they are perfectionists. So that's why we use the verb be. Okay. Let me check this. We're gonna come to this part, which is the conversation part here. So in the spotlight of language, we have a conversation as usual between a guy, which is Mike, and a girl, which is an indie girl, in an American English standard. So we're gonna listen to this conversation, and then we're gonna review some words that I've highlighted here. Okay, good. Let's get to it. I have to do this thing because you know.
Read and listen to two friends talking about a travel hassle on a business trip. Notice the spotlighted language.
Oh no, my folder's missing. It had my passport and my boarding pass in it.
Uh-oh. Try to think. When did you see it last? Was it at the hotel?
Let's see, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I remember now. I just finished printing out the boarding pass when the front desk called to say the airport limo was waiting downstairs. So I got my stuff together and split.
Do you think you could have left a folder in the room? Or at the front desk when you checked out?
Guys, I'm so sorry. Sorry, my mistake. I'm confused with the other schedule. Sorry, my mistake. Here we have the conversation once again. I'm
Read and
sorry.
listen to a conversation between two colleagues. Notice the spotlighted language.
Wait till you hear this. Sam lost his cool again at the status meeting.
Oh, please. He's always angry about something. So what set him off this time?
You know how Rob always waits till the last minute to do the sales report? Well, Sam made a big issue out of it. When Rob tried to defend himself, Sam told him off, in front of everyone.
That's awful. You know, even if Rob starts things late, he always finishes on time. I don't see what the big deal is.
But you know Sam. If there's anything he hates, it's procrastination. I'm sure he wanted to make an example out of Rob.
Well, sounds like he went overboard. He could have just brought it up privately with Rob after the meeting.
Good point. But all things considered, Rob took it pretty well. He knows Sam's just hot-tempered.
If only he'd just stop and think first, before having one of his outbursts. Instead, everyone always has to walk on eggshells, wondering who's going to be next.
I agree. Between you and me, I think Sam's been under a lot of pressure lately from his boss. But that's no excuse to take it out on someone else.
That's right. It must have been hard for everyone at the meeting to just pick up the pieces afterwards and go on as if nothing had happened. I'll bet it was really awkward.
Totally. But it's Sam who should feel awkward. What bothers me the most is that he has no clue how he affects other people.
Okay, so this is the end of the conversation. So we're gonna review a little bit. It says we have some, as you can see, a spotlighted language here. For example, lost to school, set him off, we say in English, made a big issue out of it. We told him off, brought it up. We have took it pretty well. We have walk on eggshells. We have to take it out on. We have to pick out the pieces. Okay, so we're gonna review this highlighted words here in the exercise that is down the page. But we're gonna check some other words, the words that are highlighted, the ones that are here in green. Okay, what is an outburst? An outburst is basically, let's say, an explosion of emotion. So for example, let's say that I tell you a joke and then you suddenly start like laughing out loud, then you have an outburst. Okay, so maybe another contest, you were talking to your husband or you were talking to your wife, and maybe he or she starts like screaming and she or he gets really angry, so that was another outburst of anger. So outburst. So another word here is okay, the way we say something, to be under pressure. Okay, we say I am under pressure or I'm working under pressure. Another word here is afterwards, which means that like after something immediately. Okay, and go on as if, go on means to continue as if nothing had happened. So go on basically means to continue. And awkward basically means something that is like very weird and makes you feel like uncomfortable. That's really awkward. And he says what bothers me the most is that he has no clue. When you say that someone has no clue, it's like you don't have any idea. You have no clue how he affects other people. It's like what bothers me the most is that he doesn't have any idea how he affects other people. Okay, so that's basically the way that we say that expression. So exercise F, I know the answers are here. But if you want, you can start the video. You can do the exercise and then you come here again and you check your answers. It says understand meanings and expressions. Find these expressions in Spotlight. Complete each statement. Number one, if you lose your cool, you get angry. Okay, you lose your cool like I was like really angry. I lost my cool. So number two, if something sets you off, it makes you angry. Okay. it makes you angry. When you say like your behavior set me off, or your behavior sets me off, or every time that you do that, it sets me off. Like it makes me angry. Like it makes me feel really angry. Number three, if someone makes a big issue out of it or out of something, he or she calls too much attention to it. Yeah, you're gonna make an issue out of it. It's like there is a situation, or maybe you say like you say something to someone, and then that person understands something very different, and then that person starts like let's say like he or she starts like complaining and starts like getting angry and arguing with you, then that person is making an issue out of it. Is paying too much attention to something that you just said, and that person is like creating a problem out of it, out of something. Number four, if you tell someone else, you are expressing your anger to that person about his or her behavior. Yeah, when you tell someone else, it's like when you do something wrong and then the other person starts like it's always the same thing with you. I'm fed up, I'm sick of you, and then the person is telling you off. Okay, which is really bad, which is a really bad thing to do in front of other people. So number five, or we also use it when for example you do something that your mother told you not to do. So then when you get back home, then your mother starts telling you off. Like, why did you do that? I told you not to do it. So she's telling you off. Number five, if something bothers you and you bring it up with someone you want to discuss it. Okay, bring up is a phrasal verb, which means basically to mention something. Let's say that you're talking to your best friend, and then your best friend starts like talking about your ex, and then you say like, you know what, let's just stop talking about this because I don't want to bring it up. Okay, it's like I don't want you to mention it. I don't want to mention that. Or when someone says something that you don't want to talk about, then you say like, don't bring it up. It means like don't mention it. Okay, number seven, if you walk on eggshells, you are careful not to make someone angry. Like, yeah, walk on eggshells is like be really careful with something. In this context is to make someone angry. Okay, so in number eight, it says if you feel stressed and take it out on a friend, you might need to apologize to that person for acting angry. Yeah, is to take it out on a friend. It's like behaving in an angry way with your friend. Okay. Number seven, if you try to pick up the pieces after an argument, you try to reestablish a friendly atmosphere. Like let's say that you're at work, and then your boss is telling you off, and then you were like arguing with that boss, and then you start like fighting and arguing, and then let's say that you went to your office, and your boss went to his or her office, and then you start like thinking about how to reestablish the friendly atmosphere that you used to have. So it means that you're trying to pick up the pieces, pick up the pieces to basically like try to find a solution, or try to repair something. Okay, so those are the exercises here. You can do exercise G if you want. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And on this page, you can also find information about adverb clauses to express conditions in English, which is the thing that I just explained with the slides. So we're gonna work basically on the exercises. So let me see here. So we're gonna go to page, guys. So we're gonna go to page 41. I want you to do exercise D and exercise E, please. In exercise D, what you have to do is to choose a statement with the same meaning. So there is a sentence here. We have a sentence number one. So you're gonna choose if A or B. Sorry, you're gonna choose either A or B, but you have to be careful because the sentence that you choose or the statement that you choose, it must have the same meaning, okay, of the present. So let's do this exercise, please. Exercise D and exercise E, please. So you can stop the video. You can stop the video while you do the exercises, and then you can replay the video. Okay. So guys, I need to do something that it's not gonna take more than 2 minutes. So please wait for me here. Start doing the exercises, please. Okay, I'm here again, guys. So let's check the answers, please. We're gonna go and check the answers. Let me fix this new. So we're gonna go and check the answers. So here. Okay. So for number one, it says, I find it difficult to remember my appointments unless I put a reminder on my smartphone. Okay. It's using unless. Okay. So letter A is the answer because it says, if I don't put a reminder on my smartphone, I find it difficult to remember my appointments, of course. Okay, number two, even if she tries not to be controlling, her friends still think she is. And the answer is letter A. Her friends find her to be controlling no matter what she does. Okay, no matter what she does, her friends find her to be controlling. Number three, only if he takes a workshop about procrastination will Martin stop putting things off. As you can see here, we're using the inverted form. Will Martin stop? Okay, we don't say Martin will stop. Say will Martin stop by putting things off. So the answer is letter A. Unless Martin takes a workshop, comma, he won't stop putting things off. Okay. Number four, whether or not you apologize, some people always have a hard time picking up the pieces after you tell them off. So the answer is, it's always difficult to pick up the pieces after being told off, even if you receive an apology. Yeah, that's true. Number five, you should try not to overreact when your manager criticizes your work. Otherwise, you might lose your job. Yeah, of course, the other way to use otherwise is using unless. Unless you try to stop overreacting to your manager's criticisms, you might lose your job. Okay, good. So exercise is circle the correct way to complete each statement. Number one says, whether or not Bob is oversensitive, his friends still like him. Number two, unless Saul overreacts again at the meeting, I won't mention his negative attitude. Okay, so it means that I will mention his negative attitude if Saul overreacts at the meeting. Okay. Sorry. I will mention his negative attitude if Saul overreacts again at the meeting. So that's basically the same thing that saying, unless Saul overreacts again at the meeting, I won't mention his negative attitude. So it means that if if he overreacts, I will mention it, okay? So number 3, Katia loses her cool with her kids, sorry, only if she's had a bad day at work. So it means that if she doesn't have a bad day at work, she doesn't lose her cool with her kids. Number 4, it says Carl's colleagues enjoy working with him, even if he is a bit hot-tempered. So it's like he is a bit hot-tempered, but his colleagues enjoy working with him. Okay, it's like saying even though he is a bit hot-tempered, his friends enjoy working with him. So that's why we use even if. Number 5, unless she really goes overboard, I don't care that much if my wife tells me off. Okay, so if she goes overboard, it means if she starts like trespassing the limits, then I care about it. Okay, so but I don't care that much if my wife tells me off, unless she really goes overboard. Okay, so number 6, only if she puts something off to the last minute does Stacy worry about what her boss will think. So as you can see here, we have the inverted form here again. We say does Stacy worry. We don't say Stacy worries about. So we say only if she puts something off to the last minute does Stacy worry about what her boss will think. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Anyway, if you didn't get it, if you didn't make it out, then you can ask me any question that you have. So I want you to get ready with this exercise here. It says discuss how to overcome shortcomings. So it says look at page 38 again and choose 3 of the people's shortcomings on your notepad. Suggest how to overcome each shortcoming. But I don't want you to do it based on that people. I want you to do it based on your own experience, on the way that you are. Okay, you're gonna write 3 different shortcomings. And what suggestions would you give to you if you were your psychologist? Okay, you understand? It's like, let's play that you are your own psychologist, and then you're gonna think about your shortcomings, and then you're gonna think the way that the suggestions for how to overcome it. Okay, how to get rid of that shortcoming. For example, it says here Ricardo is oversensitive. So try not to overreact. Remember that most people just want to be helpful. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, in the second part for the grammar of this unit, we're gonna talk about cleft sentences. Okay, and for this thing, we're gonna go to the slides again. Okay, cleft sentences. It says comes from the verb cleave, which means to divide. Yeah, it's a sentence that is divided, and we have 2 parts. We have the subject, the linking verb, which connects the 2 divisions of the sentence, and then the complement. So it says we use cleft sentences to emphasize information. Yeah, we're gonna see that. Impersonal it cleft sentences. Well, impersonal it sentences are all the sentences that they start it was, it, using the pronoun it. So I'm gonna give you first this sentence that is here, and then we're gonna see the different ways that we can emphasize, because remember that we use cleft sentences to emphasize information. So I'm gonna give you this example here, and then I'm gonna show you the way that we emphasize the different things that we have in the sentence. Okay, so take a look at this. It says my sister wanted to talk with her boss at last night's dinner. So I can say this: it was my sister who wanted to talk with her boss at last night's dinner. So in this case, I am using an impersonal it cleft sentence here. It was. Why it was? Because it was in past. My sister wanted. Okay, it's in past. So I say it was my sister. So in this case, I am emphasizing the subject. in the sentence, which who is my sister. So I say it was my sister who. Why do I use who? Because I'm talking about someone and person. Say it was my sister who wanted to talk with her boss at last night's dinner. Sorry, as you can see, the meaning of the sentence changes because I say it was my sister. I'm emphasizing on the subject.
It's 12 o'clock.
So take a look at the second one. It says it was my sister's boss with whom she wanted to talk, at last night's dinner. So in this case, we are emphasizing the object. Okay, what is the object? This is the subject, the person who does the action, and this is the object, the person or the thing who receives the action in this case. So my sister wanted to talk with her boss. So I say it was my sister's boss with whom. Remember that when we put the preposition with the relative pronoun, we have to use whom. So with whom she wanted to talk at last night's dinner. So as you can see, this second sentence emphasizes the object because I'm saying I'm emphasizing the person who receives the action. So it was my sister's boss. Or I can also say, this is a different way to say it, but it's totally the same. It says it was my sister's boss who she wanted to talk with at last night's dinner. So it's the same emphasis here, is the object. The only thing that changes here is with whom and who talk with. Okay, you remember that we can say with whom or who and then the preposition. Okay, the next one. In this case, I say it was last night when my sister wanted to talk with her boss. So in this case, in this sense, I am emphasizing time. That's the reason why I say here when. It was last night when my sister wanted to talk with her boss. So in this case, I'm not emphasizing neither the subject nor the object, but the time. So I say it was last night when my sister. So the time when my sister wanted to talk with her boss. And take a look at the last one. So it was at last night's dinner. Then here is different because in this case I am emphasizing the place. So in the first one the subject, in the second one the object, in the third one the time, and in the fourth one, which is the last one, we have the place. Okay, so that's why I say it was at last night's dinner where my sister wanted to talk with her boss. Okay, so why do I say where? Because I'm talking about a place at last night's dinner. Okay, so as you can see here, we can use impersonal cleft sentences in order to emphasize. It can be the subject, the object, the time, or the place. Okay, so we use it for it. So that's one type of cleft sentence, which is using the personal it was. Now the second cleft sentence or kind of cleft sentence that we have is using what. In this case, same. What we do here is to emphasize something. Okay, pay attention. I have a sentence here, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm going to emphasize. It says, "My mother really likes eating ice cream." So in this case, I want to emphasize the action. So I say, what my mother really likes is eating ice cream. So in this case, I am emphasizing this action, which is eating ice cream. Okay, what my mother really likes. Okay, what my mother really likes is eating ice cream. Okay, but this sentence can be said like we can change the order, okay, of the sentence. In this case, we have the what cleft sentence, which is what my sister really likes, as the subject of the sentence, because this is the subject, is in this case is the linking verb, and eating ice cream is the complement. But I can also say this starting by eating ice cream, starting by the action. I can say eating ice cream is the linking verb here, what my mother really likes. So in this case, the cleft sentence with what, which is what my mother really likes, is the subject complement. Okay, is the subject complement of the sentence. So I can say it both ways. I can say what my mother really likes is eating ice cream, or eating ice cream is what my mother really likes. So I want to clarify something. When we talk about actions here, we use the verb to be in singular. We say is. Okay, because we can also emphasize in this case like here, what my mother really likes eating is ice cream. We can emphasize also nouns. So in this case, when we talk about nouns, then we have to do something, and it's to agree the verb to be, because in this case, eating ice cream is singular, so I say is, but cookies is plural, then I have to say are. So if I'm gonna talk about cookies, I say what my mother really likes eating are cookies. So in this case, we have to say are because the verb agrees with the complement, which is cookies in this case. Because then I can also say cookies are what my mother really likes eating, okay? Or I can also say ice cream is what my mother really likes eating, okay? What she likes eating in this case. So, and the last one is, as I told you here, as a subject complement. Eating ice cream is what my mother really likes eating. Sorry, ice cream is what my mother really likes eating. Or as I told you, cookies are what my mother really likes eating. So when we talk about nouns here, or when the complement is an object, is a noun, so we need to be careful because we need to agree the verb to be with the singular verb and the verb to be in plural with the plural noun. Okay? Good. So the next type of class sentence is also with what, but we're gonna talk about a class sentence with the noun clause as the subject complement. Okay, take a look at it and let me explain that. Once again, we have a sentence here. It says, "If only has she not lost her cool." Okay, if only has she not lost her cool. Okay, pay attention. I say what she wishes is she hadn't lost her cool. Okay, in this case, we have a noun clause. She hadn't lost her cool. Okay, but this clause is the subject complement. Okay, so in this case, when we have a noun clause as the subject complement, then we have to agree the verb to be in singular. Okay, so we say what she wishes is that she hadn't lost her cool, or what she wishes is she hadn't lost her cool. So that here is optional, okay, because we're talking about the same subject. So we say what she wishes is that she hadn't lost her cool. So in this case, as you can see, she hadn't lost her cool is a noun clause, and when we have it as a subject complement, then we have to agree the verb to be using is. So what is a clause? What is the difference between a clause and a phrase? A phrase only has either subject or verb, but in a clause we have a subject and a verb. As you can see here, we say she hadn't lost her cool, and here is a short complement, so it is a noun clause as the subject complement. So what she wishes is that she hadn't lost her cool. Or what my mother wishes is that I study mechanical engineer. Or let's say what the teacher wants is that all the students study for the test. Okay, so all the students study for the test is the noun clause complement of the sentence. So I say what the teacher wants is that all the students study for the test. Okay, good. In that case, I say what the teacher wants is. So we have to write the verb in singular. When we have a noun clause, it means, let's say that when you want to emphasize a sentence, or when you want to emphasize a statement, for example, my mother wishes that I study law, let's say. So then I say what my mother wishes is that I study law. Okay, good. So for this exercise here, for this explanation here, we're gonna go to the book. We're gonna work on exercise. Yeah, we're gonna work on exercise C. It says listen to active grammar. Listen to the conversations, then listen again and complete each statement. So we're gonna listen to the conversation here, and then you're gonna do exercise D. And I think that you have to do also exercise E. Okay, but first of all, we're gonna go to exercise C. I'm on page 42. Okay, page 42, exercise C. We're gonna listen. Let me do this in here.
Listen to the conversations. Conversation 1.
Hey, Katie, I need to bring something up.
Of course, Jorge. Is there anything wrong?
Well, you were supposed to be at the meeting this morning. We were counting on you for an update on the project.
Oh no, I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. I really messed up.
I don't want to make an issue out of it, but it's the third time.
You're right. It was my bad. I promise to make up for it.
Conversation 2.
Sorry I'm late. I just had a long talk with Simon.
About what happened yesterday?
Yeah, I'm still angry about it.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it was all his fault.
I suppose, but I just wanted him to know how I felt about it.
I think he should have apologized.
Well, he did. He knows he's too hot-tempered. He admitted that he shouldn't have lost his cool.
Conversation 3.
Excuse me, Evan?
Hi, Cynthia. What's up?
There's something I need to bring up with you.
Uh-oh. What's wrong?
It's not a big deal, but yesterday, remember when you came by my office when I was talking with Judy?
Yeah?
Well, we were in the middle of something, but you just barged in and started talking about something else. I'd really appreciate it if you could at least ask if I was busy first.
Gee, I'm sorry. You're right. I guess I wasn't thinking.
Like I said, no huge deal. Thanks for understanding.
Conversation 4.
Rilla, are you okay? You look upset about something.
Me? Oh, I guess I am.
What happened?
It's Janice. We had a bit of an argument this morning. She's not talking to me now.
What? I thought you two were such great friends.
It was my fault. I said something I shouldn't have.
Well, good friends should be able to work things out, don't you think?
I know. I'm going to call her right now and say I'm sorry.
Conversation 5.
Brian, have you got a minute? I have something I need to bring up.
Sure, have a seat.
Well, I hope you don't mind my pointing this out, but you've been really negative this past week. I mean, no matter how much work I've gotten done, you've been super critical about everything.
I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I don't want to make a big issue out of it, but it's been bothering me all week.
Well, I apologize. I certainly didn't mean to be so critical. It's no excuse, but I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I want you to know how much I appreciate the quality of your work.
Thanks. I didn't want to just say nothing about it.
Well, I'm glad you did. Thanks for bringing it up.
Now listen again and complete each statement. Conversation 1.
Hey, Katie, I need to bring something up.
Of course, Jorge. Is there any...
Okay. Okay, here. I was kind of lost. I'm sorry. Here we're gonna check this exercise here, exercise C. So those are the answers. Number 1, it says it was her missing the meeting that he wanted to bring up. Number 2, what bothered him was that Simon lost her school. Number 3, it was his interrupting her meeting that made her decide to talk with him. Number 4, what's surprising to him is that the two women had such a bad argument. Number 5, it was his constant criticism that upset her. Okay, so those are the answers. So, guys, I want you to practice on exercise D and exercise E. Okay, and then we check it. Okay, I'm gonna explain something to you. I'm just going to continue. I'm gonna tell you the answers here, because the idea is that you stop the video You practice, you do the exercise on your own, and then you can check the exercises with me, okay? So you can just like go back if you want to replay the listening, or if you want to listen again, you just can go back and then you do the exercise on your own. The idea here is that you can practice, okay? Good. So we're gonna check the answers. It says exercise D: combine each pairs sentence by writing a clause sentence with what and a noun clause subject complement. The example says, people tell me I'm too controlling. That has always surprised me. So what has always surprised me is that people tell me I'm too controlling. So for number one, we say my boss always criticizes me. That makes me kind of angry. So what makes me kind of angry is that my boss always criticizes me. And number two, most people tell lies to protect the ones they love. That fascinates me. So what fascinates me is that most people tell lies to protect the ones they love. As you can see here, we're just using noun clauses as subject complement, okay? And we use that in this case. It is optional sometimes, but my recommendation is to use that. And number three, Gary actually has a hard time saying no to people. That's surprising. What's surprising is that Gary actually has a hard time saying no to people, okay? Good. So, let's go to the next exercise here. It says, number four, my manager and I get along really well. That's nice. What's nice, or what is nice, is that my manager and I get along really well. Number five, it's been great working with you. That's what I've always wanted to tell you. So we say, what I've always wanted to tell you is that it's been great working with you. Number six, I wish you would try to control your anger. That's what I mean. What I mean is that I wish you would try to control your anger. What I mean is that I wish you would try to control your anger, okay? So in exercise E, it says, write less sentences with it, emphasizing the underlying noun phrase. So the example says, the way she talks to people is so offensive. So we say, it's the way she talks to people that's so offensive. So in this case, we have underlined what we want to emphasize on the sentence. So for example, number one, it says, Nancy's negative attitude prevents her from accepting any suggestion. It's Nancy's negative attitude that prevents her from accepting any suggestion. Okay. Number two, it says the final workshop can give you some ideas for getting more organized. Then I say, it's the final workshop that can give you some ideas for getting more organized. So number three, it says, Bill's being so hot-tempered makes me want to avoid him. So it's Bill's being so hot-tempered that makes me want to avoid him. So we're emphasizing the underlying part of the sentence. Number four, it says, the way you spoke to me this morning hurt my feelings. So it's the way you spoke to me this morning that hurt my feelings. And number five, his line about what happened was so surprising. Then I say, it's his line about what happened that was so surprising. So you can see here, as I told you in the first slide, about writing it in impersonate sentences using Cleft sentence. So we emphasize some parts of the sentence. Here in this case, we emphasize Nancy's negative attitude. In this case, pay attention. I can say it's Nancy's negative attitude that prevents her from accepting any suggestions. But I can also say what prevents her from accepting any suggestions is Nancy's negative attitude. So in that case, I am emphasizing the same thing, but saying the Cleft sentence using what. So in this case, we just emphasize what is here. But I can also say, for example, in this case, I say it's Nancy's negative attitude, but I can also say it's her attitude that prevents her from accepting any suggestion. But in that case, I can say it because it's maybe because I already know that we're talking about Nancy. So okay, those are the answers. And as I told you, you have to start the video, write the exercises, and then we check them here. Okay. Okay, we're gonna listen to this now. You can acknowledge and consider your behavior. So it says, Nancy, there's something I need to bring up. It means there is something I need to mention. Of course, Scott, what's wrong? It says, well, the other day at the meeting, I was in the middle of making a point and you interrupted me. What really bothered me was that you didn't even let me finish my thought. So it says, I didn't realize that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. Okay, this expression in English, I didn't mean to. It's when you want to say that it was not your intention. It's that, for example, you told your girlfriend that she looks different today, but she says like I feel sad because I think that I look ugly for you today. So you say, I didn't mean to say that you're ugly. What I just want to say is that you look different. Okay? As well, I don't want to make an issue out of it. It means I don't want to cause a problem out of this thing, but it's been bugging me. Bugging me is like bothering me. Okay, I hope you don't mind my pointing out. So on the contrary, I can see your point. Thanks for saying something. Okay, good. So what's next here? It's the listening part that I want you to do at home, and also I want you to do the reading part. But we're gonna check some things about these two things. So for example, number one, for the listening part, we have some vocabulary here. I lost my temper. It's like I lost my cool. Sorry, it's lose one's temper. You can say she lost her temper, have a fit, hit the roof, and go ballistic is an expression that we usually use in English, like go ballistic, and blow one's top, and blow your top, blow her top. Got really angry. So those are the expressions that we use in English in order to say that we got really angry. Okay, so hold it in or keep it inside is to avoid expressing your feelings. Is when you keep everything inside, you don't say anything, you just like calm down and you don't say anything. It means that you hold it in, you hold that situation in, or you keep it inside. Okay, you prefer not saying anything. And when I lose my cool, I take a deep breath and try to calm down. Calm down is to become quiet and more relaxed. Okay. Another expression that we have here is to let it go or shrug it off. It's like when you decide not to pay attention to something, you decide not to be bothered by something. It's like everybody, as you can see here in this picture, the girl is in a traffic jam, or maybe she stopped her car, and everybody is like screaming and yelling at her, and she's not paying attention. It means that she's letting it go, or she shrugs it off. Okay. And let off steam, it says get rid of your anger in a way that does not harm anyone. For example, by doing something active. Running helps me let off steam. Let off steam is like, it's that when you want to, it's like you do something to remove your anger from yourself. It's like, well, the expression that we use is to get rid of your anger. Okay, you let off steam. And the other one is to vent. Is to talk with someone you trust in order to express your anger at someone else. It's like when you can hold it in, when you can't keep it inside anymore, and then you need someone to vent it. Okay? Or to vent about something. So for example, when I'm upset about something, venting about it with a friend usually calms me down. Okay? It's because it's when you have to say, when you have to share with someone what you feel. Okay? So let me do something here, please. Oh, sorry. So let's continue here. And the other thing, well, I want you to complete the exercises at home, and this part as well. Okay, guys, I wanted to tell you that I want you to pay attention to this part here, recycle this language, which is like the summary of the previous language that you've worked with. So that's really important because in this way you can like remember and you don't forget the expressions and the words that are really important in the unit. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about is it's this reading part. Okay, it says friends through thick and thin. Okay, when we say through thick and thin, it means in difficult situations. Okay, when we go through difficulties in our life, so we use this expression through thick and thin. So in the first paragraph, we have some words that maybe you don't know. For example, the first one is so on. So on means to continue. Sorry, etc. Okay, or and so far and so forth. Number two, count on someone is when you rely on someone. When you have confidence on someone and when you trust someone, it means that let's say that you have a problem and someone else says like, hey, you know that you can talk to me like anytime you want and you know that you can count on me. We don't, in Spanish we say count with friends, but in English we say count on friends. Okay, count on. Okay, look at this one. It says, on the contrary, it says, most importantly, good friends aren't jealous of your success. On the contrary, they cheer you on. Well, this expression, this phrase over here, which is cheer on, means to encourage. It's like when you say to your friends, like, hey, you know, I won a scholarship for study master degree, and your friends are like, okay, keep on because you're a really good student, you're very responsible, and you can do it. You can like you can get it, like you can make it up, you can make for it. So it means that that they are cheering you on, or your friends cheer you on. It means to encourage you to do something. Okay, what makes you tick? Pay attention to the context. It says when you're feeling down or upset about something, friends know what makes you tick. What makes you tick is an expression that we usually use in order to say that you know what makes someone feel better when they are in a bad or when they feel blue. You know, when they feel blue, when they feel sad, and you know what makes that person tick. It means that you know what makes that person feel better. Okay. Okay, flaws is another word that we already saw. So the defects that someone has. Okay, it says, and even when someone lets you have it, when you make a mistake, friends still stick up for you. Stick up for is a phrase word that we use in order to say that we support someone. Okay, we back up someone. It's another phrase word that we use, that you support that person. Okay, that you're with that person and you're like supporting, like helping the person, cheering that person on, and all that stuff. Okay, we can trust them to stick by us. Stick by is when you don't abandon someone, or when someone does not abandon you. It means that the person sticks by you. Okay, no matter what. Friends don't keep things bottled up inside. When you keep things bottled up inside, it means that you keep it inside. You hold it in. Okay, you don't say anything. Okay, bottled up inside is when you have like secrets that you don't say to anyone. If there is a problem, they work things out. To work things out is to, in this case, is to talk and to find a solution for it. Or, yeah, basically to find a solution for it and move on. It's like, okay, we just skip that part and we continue being friends no matter what happens. Okay? Another expression is to hang out. So you already know that. It's like to hang out is like to go outside with someone to have fun with another person. It says, okay, no, this one was a mistake. Okay, good. So, all things considered with this vocabulary, I want you to work on it. I want you to work on listening, and I also want you to work on the reading part, and then we'll be talking about writing and pronunciation. So, we're gonna go back because I want to tell you something, and maybe some students they hate it, but it's really important to know in English. And we're gonna talk about this thing here, inversions in English. Okay, what are inversions? We have some expressions, some phrases in English with which we have to use inversions. Like like we invert the order of the sentence. Instead of saying she will, we say will she. Instead of saying she goes, we say does she go. Or she went, we say did she go. Okay, so we use auxiliaries in the verbs, and the inverted form is basically as the question form. Okay, so take a look at this one. Some inversions with only. Look at this. I'm gonna give you an example here. This is the contest, and then I'm gonna give you some words with which we have to use inversions based on this contest. We say, my father talked to my sister because he saw how down was my mother. Okay, let me explain that to you. My sister and my mother, they had an argument. So they were like fighting with words, they were yelling at each other, and now my mother is really down. It means that she's really sad. And my father talked to my sister because he noticed that my mother was like really down. So I say only then. So it means that only in that moment did my sister realize how rude she was with her mother. So as you can see here, when we use the expression only when, only when we use the inversion here. Did my sister realize? Okay, did my sister realize how rude she was with her mother? Okay, another expression that we use is only later. Only later, it means after this and later, only later, did she think? We don't say she thought. We say did she think because we're using this expression. Only later did she think about her outburst of temper. Okay. The next one, only in this way. So, well, that expression is very clear. Only in this way did she notice. We don't say only in this way she noticed. We say only in this way did she notice how much she hurt her mother. So we say did she notice. Okay, so we use the inverted form here, which is the question form. And this last one, in no way did my sister agree with her behavior. Okay, in no way. It means that my father didn't agree with her behavior. Okay, at all, at all. So we say, in no way did my father agree with her behavior. Okay. So another example is like, in no way will my father accept this kind of behavior again. Okay, in no way will my father accept. Okay, you can start the video, you can just replay, like go faster, like try to understand. You can look it up in the dictionary, then in other words, only then, only later, and in no way. Okay, so you can go and check it. That's the first kinds of inversions that we have. The second part is this one. Inversions with the word only in the second part of the sentence. Take a look at this. Is the same contest, is the same example, but we're gonna use not until my father told her off did she understand how awful she was. Okay, not until my father told her off. Then pay attention to this because in the result clause, we're gonna use the inverted form. Okay, so it says not until my father told her off. So it means that when my father told her off, she understood how awful she was. So we say not until. That was something else that I wanted to tell you. We don't say in English not, we say not, okay? We say not only my father, not only, sorry, I'm sorry. Not until my father told her off did she understand how awful she was. Pay attention to this one. We say only after she had seen my mother crying. So it means that my mother was crying, and then my sister saw my mother, and then only after she had seen my mother crying did she feel terrible. It's like after seeing her mother crying, she felt terrible. Okay, but in this case, we have to use the inverted form because we're using the expression only after. Only after she had seen my mother crying did she feel terrible. Also, in this case, it's impossible to say she felt. It's did she feel. Okay, next one. Only after seeing her mother crying, as you can see here, another example, did she feel terrible. Only when. These two are the same. Only when she saw her mother's crying did she feel terrible. It's the same example, but the only thing that we change is only when. Only when she saw, in this case, we're just emphasizing that the action was happening at that moment, and only after seeing. Okay? Something happened afterward. It means one after the other. And in this case, only when she saw her mother's crying did she feel terrible. Only by changing her behavior can she pick up the pieces. Okay, so in this case, we say only by. Only by, it's when we want to express an action. Okay, when we want to express an action that can change something. Only by changing her behavior can she pick up the pieces. Only by studying really hard can they pass the test. Only by being really responsible will they be able to pass the level. Okay, only by learning, only by speaking fluently will she be able to talk to a native speaker, or talk with, sorry, a native speaker. Okay, so the difference here is that in these expressions we use the inverted form immediately in the first sentence. In the result clause we use the inverted form, as you can see here. The ones in purple so are the inversions in the second part of the sentence. So in the last ones is something that I already told you, but I just wanted to bring it up because it's like a review. Inversions with so and that. So you know that we usually say, my mother was so offended that she slapped my sister. It's the same context. So we can say, so offended was my mother that she slapped my sister. Or instead of saying my sister felt so terrible that she wanted to move out, we say, so terrible did my sister feel that she wanted to move out. What a crazy family, right? So this shouldn't happen in families, but sometimes, it does. So, and this expression here, which is nowhere, we say, nowhere had I ever seen such a terrible behavior. Nowhere. So it means that in any other place I had ever seen such a terrible behavior. But we're using the expression nowhere. So we say, nowhere had I ever seen such a terrible behavior. The inverted form here. Use the auxiliary had, which is the past perfect. Subject, ever, and complement. Is it necessary to write ever? No, you're going to say, nowhere had I seen such a terrible behavior. And that's it. So, guys, that's it for today. This is the first video. I hope that you understood. If you didn't, you can ask me questions, and you can just send private messages to me and then ask, teacher, I'm so sorry about this part. It was really hard for me, so I didn't understand, and then I need your help. Okay, so guys, I want to tell you something. As we're going through this difficult situation here, let me do something here. As we're going through this difficult situation here in our country, so because of the coronavirus, and I don't really know when this is going to finish. I think it's gonna take a long time. So because of the pandemic, guys, and I want you to pay attention to the platform because I'm going to assign unit number 4. And something else, I'm gonna send you some material on my English lab, worksheets, PDFs, with which you can practice more, okay, about inversions or well, yes, worksheets about, but basically the grammar of the units, okay, which is what the book is or what the university demands from you. But anyway, I'm gonna be sharing more material with you, and what I want you to do is like to be really aware of everything on the platform, and try to work on your own to be like like independent in your studies. So I know that you can do it. I know that you can be really responsible, and that's it. Okay. Anyway, I'll let you know when I assign the exercise in the platform and when I upload any other material on the platform. Okay. So I'm gonna like try to, yeah, I'm gonna try to explain where you can find the material, but that's gonna be in another video. Okay. So this was the first part. So the second part is coming really soon, sooner than you think. And because I think this video is lasting like 1 hour 20 minutes, and I think it's a lot, but I'm so sorry. You know, the units are kind of long. And then the second part, which is going to be about writing and pronunciation. So guys, thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe. No, I'm kidding. Okay, this channel was just created for the virtual classes. And well, if you want to subscribe, and you can do it, because then you will receive notifications when I upload videos here. But you have to understand that I've created this channel for all my classes. So some videos are about unit number 6, unit number 7, and it's a topic that we're gonna be learning later on, let's say in a short future. But well, there is no need to watch them, just when it comes the time comes to watch the video. So anyway, if you want to receive notifications, then you can subscribe. Okay. So guys, once again, thank you for watching the video. Please be careful with the platform, and see you on the second part. Okay.